Hi, what does it mean to build an organization that outlives you? Imagine, I once traced the history of organizations and I found that the oldest organizations can be found in places like Japan. They have organizations that have lasted for 1,000 years and more. Do you know what it means to last for 1,000 years? That's 30 generations at least, 35. Because one generation is 30 years. In Africa, you can count the number of organizations that have lasted for at least 100 years. And this inability to find many of these businesses that have longevity is attributed to weak foundations. In corporate governance, an area of study in organizational behavior that I have built some expertise, we say that weak organizations are easily destroyed when there is a storm. The storm can come from a reputational issue. The storm can come from fraud within. The storm can come from external factors. It can come from policy changes. It can be both internal and external, and it can be sharp, acute, or it can run for a period and then the organization is unable to recover. When you are setting up a corporate governance system that helps the organization to last and you're able to build strong, long living organizations, there are certain things to consider. One is that you need to put in place strong control systems. Those control systems are not nice to have, they're essential. Example, you need to have audits, you need to have reports, periodic annual reports, you need to have a board that you're accountable to, you need to have an internal auditor, external auditor, you need to have lawyers in place, you need financial control. So many of those systems of control are essential because it's a strong pillar in good corporate governance. Another strong pillar in good corporate governance is the fact that you need to be transparent, not just to disclose, but actually transparent. I remember a story of a man that had multiple wives. He was being compared to another one who had serial wives. And it was said that the ones who were selecting one man to man a post or run a role actually wanted the man to have one wife. And the man that had declared that he had multiple wives was judged not to be suitable, while the man that had had one after the other and had the after the other, not necessarily divorcing them, was considered the right one. And I said to myself, transparency and disclosure. Many organizations thrive on partial disclosure and not transparency. However, if you're building good, strong corporate governance culture, transparency and disclosure must be the watchword. Another factor you should consider are the people that don't have quite a voice in the organization. In corporate governance, we call them minorities. They may hold a minority position, and some of them are simply stakeholders, maybe the community that you operate in. So sometimes you look at the stakeholder perspective in good corporate governance. I'll talk a bit more about things you should consider, but are you building your organization to outlive you? If you are, what systems have you begun to put in place, even with yourself, and how are you embracing to ensure that this business outlives you?